at Fanexpo. I don't even know what day it is.
Friday?
Is
Friday.
it?
I think it's Friday.
Is it?
I hope it's Friday.
Here is what just went down. And to me, this is so cool. Drew Dober, how are you?
Wonderful. I'm glad I'm here and hanging out with you guys.
Well, what was really cool is, and as you will find out, we don't talk a whole lot. Longest running MMA UFC show in the country, just so you know. And we know the sport, but we don't talk necessarily about the sport because I want people to get to know the athletes. You know, there's 50 stations here that can talk about your last fight. And if you're an MMA UFC fan, they watched your last fight. You know what I mean?
Right.
We want to get to know you. And you're like, check this, do that. I mean, you're a radio guy. It's to me, it's like you're ready to broadcast here. How cool is that?
I mean, I'm trying to get myself into that broadcasting business, trying to stay in front of a camera for as long as possible. So, I mean, radio, unfortunately, doesn't have the camera, but talking is equally as all right.
But unfortunately, nowadays it is, you know, with the YouTube channels and the social media.
Right.
And, you know, back when I started, you're right. You know, I have a face for radio, and it was all cool. That's funny, by the way.
It takes a while.
No, I just gave him the stern look, like yeah, no, absolutely.
I'll roll with it. You know, but now with YouTube and video and, you know, social media, it's definitely blowing up. Talk about the radio stuff that you're planning on doing if you haven't already started.
I mean, so last year I was involved in a movie. I was like an extra in a movie. That kind of just opened my eyes to the possibility of working more media outside of the cage. And so now I work with a local promotion doing commentating. I also do like promotions and promos and trying to learn how to read script and speak. And but now I'm out here practicing just being a broadcaster and, you know, sharing my opinions to people that need to hear them.
There you go. What part was what was your what did you play in the movie?
Oh, I was a SWAT team member in like I have the Buzz Lightyear look.
Right.
So you throw me in any military outfit, I'll do well.
What was the movie or?
So it was a I don't know how much I could talk about it, but it was like it's not out yet. It's not out yet. But it's like a Netflix exclusive, so keep your eyes open.
I was in neither one of you guys have ever heard of this TV show. It's called Sequest. It was back in the day, probably before you were born.
Was that Roy Schneider?
Yes.
No, Roy Schneider.
Yeah, I think he was in it. And my buddy was the director. So we went to we were going to have this extra part. We were going to get thrown off a building and all this crap. And at the last minute, they X'd it. So his brother, who's also a friend of mine, and we're like, follow me. I go, what do you mean follow me? So the opening scene of Sequest is a Humvee comes down the road, takes a left, goes halfway down, and all these guys get out. It's like a futuristic whatever. So Gary goes, come on, follow me. And we just walked into the scene. We were not supposed to be in the scene. And we are now in the opening scene of Sequest for eternity.
Oh, that's perfect.
As we just walked out there.
But did you work for free?
No, I got paid too.
Okay, good. If you just wandered on the scene, make sure you get that money too.
We still got, it was very little, but, you know, we got to keep, and back then you didn't think about it. We got to keep all the Sequest memorabilia and, you know, the whole 9 yards.
It's good though, because you meet so much. We actually when you speak with fighters. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
You hear me? But when you speak with fighters, there's so many that are involved in it right now in their heads. It's all about the title. It's all about the money. It's all about training. But it's so kind of refreshing when people like yourself have the ability to think 10 years ahead and going, when I'm finished doing this, I want to have a nice bank account, hopefully have a belt, you know, on a mantelpiece. But then it's the stuff that comes after it. And it's great when you see so many fighters now that are articulate, that, you know, work well on camera. And I think it's absolutely the way forward, because even during your fight career, to be able to go and do those smaller promotions and learn the commentary tricks and the bits and pieces like that, is that something that you really think after, when fighting's done, is that the move? You'd love to move into the media, do that kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I feel like I love the camera. I'm halfway decent in front of it. But most of all, I'm just trying to stay in the MMA biz without getting punched in the face. Sure. And so that means I got to talk about it.
Yeah.
And so I'm getting the practice in here, and fingers crossed we'll get things bigger and better.
You know, just taking what Jimmy said a little bit further, most don't think past 10 years. Most think this will never end. You know, I'm going to stay 22, 24, 26 forever. And then all of a sudden you're 39 and it's like, I didn't prepare for, you know, after.
Right. And what really helped too is I just had my first child a month ago. And so, man, once you have a baby, it kind of opens your eyes to like, wow, I got to do more than just fighting now.
Yeah, no, I get it. I get it. Being from Omaha, right?
Yes.
So are you friendly with Anthony Smith?
Anthony Smith, the Ellenbergers. Yeah, I know all the guys.
Because Anthony's obviously he's like a poster child, probably along with someone like Bisping for the kind of move. Paul Felder as well, the move. But Anthony being a current fighter and still fighting at the highest level, but he's forever on ESPN. He's doing his podcast. He's always doing his shows. It's an amazing kind of thing to get to. But anyway, listen, the question I wanted to ask you actually was, how does someone from where you come from start? Because how do you start in this business? Because let's say if you get brought up in New York or you get brought up in LA, it's maybe a lot easier. But when you get brought up in Nebraska, was it a difficult thing to start?
Not in Nebraska. I mean, I feel like on the coast, like you got so much to do that it's like you got to find fighting.
Right, okay.
Where in Nebraska, if you can't catch a ball, you fight. And man, Nebraska or Omaha in particular, we've had like over 20 guys make it to the UFC level.
Yeah.
Omaha police officer Steve Jenham won UFC 3. I mean, we have like the best pound for pound boxer in the world currently. Like there's something in the water in Omaha, and it ain't hard to find.
The other thing that they have in Omaha is you can go up on some bridge.
The pedestrian bridge?
And you can be in two states at the same time and doing a push. That's the excitement in Omaha.
Oh, there we go.
That's it. That's like our main course right there.
Yeah. It's a long walk to do it. What's next for you fight-wise?
Fight-wise, I let the UFC know that I'm available. I'm learning the schedule with the new baby, but we're ready to go for September. So now we're just waiting on the who, when, and where.
I respect how you said that, because a lot of fighters said, I have a new baby, I'm going to fight camp.
Yeah, no. I was even offered a fight, and I was like, I don't know if we can even train for anything. So I have to ask permission to go to the gym. I'm like neck deep in diapers and bottles. So it's like it's a brand new world, and we're going to see how we can get it done when we get a fight scheduled.
Your first?
My first.
It's your first.
So I have all the anxiety, and like I'm still learning. The second child, like you can just drop and you don't care. But this first one, like we got to be in it.
I'm sure you've been told all this stuff, but what's about to happen in your life is awesome. It's absolutely incredible. Now I have a granddaughter as well, so it's to a whole new level. But when their first step, the first time they're in the swimming pool, it's like nothing you can ever even plan for.
I know, I'm excited, and also I'm very disappointed that I'm here, and I might miss her first whatever. But no, like I just try to cherish all these moments, because I'm being told that next thing you know they're 30, so we gotta take advantage of each moment you have her, and so that's it. I'm just enjoying.
How would you feel? There's being a father. I don't know, new father, so this is a long way off. But when, is it your daughter, your son?
Daughter.
So when your daughter's old enough to kind of really understand what dad does for a living, would you be happy for her to watch and embrace it? Or would you rather keep her away from it? Because we get kind of conflicting kind of stories from different fighters kind of going, listen, I fight so you don't have to fight. That kind of idea. And others that go, nah, listen, life is hard. And you must see, the good and the bad side of it. How would you approach that with your?
I think I'm a strong middle, to where I wouldn't mind if she does. I'd prefer she doesn't, but I'm going to show her so much other cooler stuff that hopefully draws her away from it. But she will learn jiu-jitsu, because it is a rough world out there, and she needs to know how to choke a dude out.
Yeah.
When you say other stuff, are you talking like darts?
I mean,
golf,
instruments. There's ball sports that she can get into. Like
things that don't hurt.
There's such thing as school. I heard education is good.
All right. I was going to make a political joke, but I won't. I'll stay down.
So, I mean, now I need to hear it.
Well, no, just now's a good time to go to college. Because you don't have to pay it back.
So listen, oh my God. So this thing that's thrown off. So this weekend. Any of those, main card fights, maybe even some in the prelims that are really kind of like, jump off the page to you that you think I'm really eager to watch that one.
I'm eager to watch the Robert Whittaker, and I forgot how to pronounce the other guy.
Duplessis.
I'm glad you guys can do it. I would have butchered it.
I practiced it for weeks.
I need to practice it, but I wasn't ready for this question. But that is the fight, because that's the number one contender in the middleweight division. That's the next in line to fight Israel Adesanya. So that's the fight I'm excited about.
And it's almost a shame. I don't root against fighters. I never do, whether I like them or not, or it's immaterial. But everybody wants to see Dricus fight Israel.
Yeah.
This fight.
Well, because it's a fresh face,
Right,
I think.
exactly.
Yeah.
Nothing against Rob. Rob's amazing, but we've seen it.
I know, but he needs to prove that he's like capable, right? Because I'm not trying to see a fresh face just get beat up by Stylebender,
Sure.
So I want to see like fantastic fights, and so he's got to make a proof.
The one fight I'm looking forward to is Robbie Lawler for this reason, not because it's his last fight, because I'm very vocal on. I never want a fighter to say this is my last fight, because do you go to the gym as much?
Yeah.
You know that, but Robbie Lawler probably went to the gym more this time, knowing because that's Robbie.
Right.
I've known Robbie since day one. And Nico Price just doesn't care either.
Right.
He's going to go in, and so that's one that has the potential to really be
It's going to be a brawl. Like, we know every time Robbie Lawler steps in the octagon, like, that's the fight we're going to get. And it's no different because of it's his last. Actually, it might even be better because it's last. He's coming out there and he's going to let it all on the line. And Nico Price he's also going to step in the middle as well.
Good stuff.
So listen, behind us, there is a lot of marketing, and there's some radio stations here covering Power Slap.
Okay.
Have you seen? Well, because
I've seen it.
We're going for the very
We're
first time
going
tonight.
Oh, really?
It's tonight at the Apex.
I've heard.
Have you seen it, and what's your thoughts?
All right. This is going to be a long answer, right? So I have seen it. I watched the entire season that they did, and what a shit show! Like, oh my god! Like, I told myself I would never do bare knuckle boxing, and then I saw Power Slap. And I went, all right, well, I will do bare knuckle boxing over. Like, there's I don't know, man. Like, they either going to start paying these guys to give up their brain cells, or just give it up altogether.
Just kind of curious. It's so funny when you spend, your youth on a wrestling mat or in a dojo, and you work for years to get to the pinnacle of fighting, and then this new thing comes along. And I've never seen it, so I can't really say. We had a few of the champions on earlier. We were sort of chatting away about it. I'm very curious to see what it's all about, but I'm always curious to see it like a professional elite fighter's view on it.
Before you answer any more, just remember, well, you probably don't remember, but we went through this with the UFC at UFC 1.
Yeah.
It's the same thing, and people, I was with Ken Shamrock, I was with Royce Gracie, and they said basically the same thing about that. Like, really? All right, I'll do it. I'm a fighter.
Right, but there was still technique involved.
Sure.
And as much as they want to say that they're like training, I'm like, what are you doing really? Like,
how do you train for that?
Just chewing bubble gum? Like, what do you like? I don't know how you can get better at the sport other than just winning the coin toss.
Well, that's very important.
I know. They're just high level gamblers.
Yes. So I wonder if you train how to fall. From when you get slapped, you have to.
No, I don't know. There's no way. You just hope the guy behind you catches you. Which, hold on, did you know that Dana White wanted it that you do not catch the guy falling?
WTAN, Clearwater.
FM 106.1.
WDCF, Dade City.
FM 102.3.
Listen.